So then, just to finish, we'll talk again just a little bit more about that question. So sometimes, like the ladies, sometimes some people may speak very strongly. Like there's one person who likes to speak very strongly. Oh, ladies, you should always be under the guidance of your husband, your son, your father. You know, you should never be independent. You should not cut your hair short. And they're giving so much emphasis in like abuse almost. And so what should be how do we reconcile this? Because you're asking that on one hand, we say that when you take shelter of Guru, we have no father, no mother, or cut all our relationships. And yet again, you're saying, oh, be under guidance. You're like the servant. So how to reconcile? So we mentioned this a little bit. We'll just talk a few more minutes. So we said before, it's about what stage you're at. What's your level of qualification? If you're in material life, if you're not like a bhakta, then there's some rules and regulations according to Varnashram system. And nowadays, that's not very much followed. And there's different rules. Sometimes it's said in Shastra, if husband is not qualified, you know, you can leave him. In some places it's said, even if husband is like lame, important, still if you serve him, you can get salvation or you can go to heaven. So there's different kinds of things said in different scriptures, but mostly we follow our Guru Varga. Amnaya means we follow the scriptures as coming directly from our Guru and our Vaishnavas. So what they say. And especially if we are in the ashram or like very closely connected to the guidance of Guru, then Guru is like our father, mother, everything. So, and under the guidance of Guru, we should always be an Anugatya. Anugatya is a very important principle for man or woman. It's the same. Whether you're a man or a woman, you need to be an Anugatya, especially in spiritual life. Narottam says, Ashraya liya bhaje tare Krishna nahi tyaje arsha more akaran. If you're not in ashray, in shelter, then Krishna will never accept you. Your life will pass in vain. But if you're in ashray, in shelter, Krishna will quickly lift you up out of this samsara and give you a place in his abode. So if we're in sadhu sangha under guidance of a real Vaishnav, then we should be an Anugatya. Means we're under his direction. Then we follow his instruction. So then if this kind of question should be personally taken to Vaishnava like Prabhuji or your Guru, oh, in this situation, what should I do? Prabhuji doesn't speak like this so much. Some other person may speak like this, and if we're married, then in married life also, Gurudev would say, I mentioned a few things. Gurudev said on one hand, like, you should not be without any affection. If you're in family life, you should have affection for your children, affection for your family, your parents. You shouldn't be externally renouncing everything, because if you're not qualified, then this will end up backfiring. You should be living with everyone nicely and harmoniously and serving each other. Gurudev said husband should serve the wife, wife should serve the husband. They should work in a compromise, in a harmonious way. Not like, oh, he is my servant, or not like she is my servant. Then it will never last. And then specifically, Prabhuji likes to say that nowadays it's good to have some independent qualification. Then if your husband is always disturbing, you can always maintain yourself. If you're not able to maintain yourself, then your husband will try to control you more. Like, I am maintaining everything, I'm building the house, I'm doing everything. Then if you're qualified and independent, not independent, but you have the ability to be independent, then they'll respect you more. It doesn't mean you have to be separate. Like, there's an idea that first you should be self-dependent, then you can be codependent. But if you're not able to take care of yourself, then you'll be bound to be always dependent on others and like the servant of others. So first you should be able to stand on your own 2 feet, then you can work together in a synergistic way. But if you have no qualification, nothing, then you'll end up just being like a servant. And whether they follow bhakti or not, there's no guarantee. But we see, and especially, Gurudev said, for a lady it's more easy to do bhakti in one way, because the heart is naturally soft. One time in Badger, Gurudev said, oh, men, you should study, you need to study this and that, philosophy. By that you can approach. But for ladies, oh, if you just cook some nice sweets for Krishna and your heart melts in affection, then you achieve prem and perfection. It's a very easy process. You don't have to worry about everything else. It's good to approach through philosophy and everything else, but ultimately the goal is prem, love. And however you can achieve that love, that's whatever you can get there the quickest way, you should worry about that. And ultimately all these other things are material. We should not think that I am a man, I am a woman. Ultimately, this is the first thing we're supposed to give up. Naham bipro napi vaishyana sudra. I'm not any material caste. I am not man or woman or this. I am only the servant of the servant of Sri Krishna and the gopis. That's our internal mood. Now, externally, we follow dharma according to some social rules and regulations just to keep things stable. And if we're ready, like Mirabai, or like Hemalata Thakurani, or like Ganga Mata Goswami, we're ready to give up everything, then we can do that. But it's a very difficult path. If we're ready, then we have to do it with a lot of dedication. You look at the example of Mirabai. When Mirabai was a princess, she was married to one prince. And she said, I don't want to marry him. I'm already married to Thakurji. And they said, you're married to this piece of stone, you crazy lady. And again, she was saying like that. Finally, they married her to the prince by force. And sometimes he would come into the room and he would hear her talking to someone. And so he was thinking, oh, she has some illicit amorous relationship, paramour relationship, and he would abuse her. He doesn't know she's talking to Thakurji. And she's talking away like with love, you know. Sometimes like singing to him, to Krishna, like you are my beloved. If you hear the songs of Mirabai, they're very sweet. And so her husband would even beat her. Her parents even tried to poison her. Her life was like the life of Prahlada. And finally, one time she wrote, this is actually an important lesson for ladies. She wrote Tulsidas because he was a contemporary. And they were both poets. They were both writing about the Lord with love. So she one time wrote to Tulsidas. So this is important instruction for us. What should I do now? My husband, my family, they're always torturing me and not letting me do bhakti. If our husband is not helping us in that way, what should we do? Should we serve the husband like a slave? If he's not supporting our bhakti, if he's not letting us be vegetarian, maybe he's like forcing you, trying to eat meat or cook meat. So what should I do? So Tulsidas said, look examples from scripture. That Vibhishan gave up his brother Ravan. He went to Ram and he betrayed his brother Ravan. Taraka Bali. Tara left Bali. Prahlada didn't accept the instructions of his father, Hiranyakashipu. So if they are not favorable for bhakti and bhajan, you can give up everything and just take shelter of Krishna and Hari Guru Vaishnavas with no fear. But then you have to be ready to be like Prahlada. And being like Prahlada is not so easy. His father was so attached to him. But as soon as he went against his desire, his father was ready to kill him. So this is like material love. It's all based on selfishness. And if you don't follow their desires, then who are you? Who am I? But if you're ready to be like Prahlada, then you can also be like Mirabai. And otherwise, you should be like Paravyasini Nari. This is an easier method. Mahaprabhu said, Paravyasini Nari, externally pleasing everyone, but internally keeping this prem hidden within your heart. This flame of prem is hidden with your heart. And if it's exposed outside, then so many forces will come and try to destroy it. But externally, you're following everything in society, but you're hiding this inside. And there's 24 hours in the day. Not all day long we have to do household chores. And even when you're doing household chores, cooking or cleaning, your mind is not cooking and cleaning. Your mind can be absorbed in Krishna, thinking of Krishna's pastimes, remembering Harikatha, chanting Krishna's names, even internally. So you have to choose ultimately what you want to do. But, life is difficult for everyone. Men have many problems, ladies have many problems. But if we're serious and under guidance of Guru Vaishnavas, then Gurudev says you can stand on the head of all these problems and quickly race forward in the path of bhakti. But if you're trying to defeat each and every problem, then you'll never be victorious. Instead, jump on the head of all these problems and transcend them all. Jump on the head means transcend them all. But each one individually fighting, you'll never be victorious. Because one problem comes, then like waves, another 10 problems come, another 20 problems comes. So better to transcend it all and realize I am just the soul, I am not the body. And my soul is the eternal part and parcel and beloved of Sri Krishna. Okay, long class today. Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. Radha, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel down there. Share with your friends, ask a question in the comments, and check out our website, kripa.tv, for courses, to support us, and for our articles and more. Hari Bo.